coordinator. Okay, please come on. I can see my screen. This is the program we're running with for this event. Can you see my screen? Yeah, we are on item 1, which is opening and a safe introduction. So we just write our names on the charts and where we're joining from. So that's the first thing we have. Item 1. Okay, just names and where we're joining from. Thank you so much, everyone. Yeah, Felix, all the way from Australia. Wow, that's lovely. Thanks so much. That should be almost like midnight. Oh my God. Thanks so much, Felix.
It's
Over
3
from
a.m. now.
3 a.m. Oh my God. What a sacrifice. I appreciate you, sir.
You're welcome.
So thank you so much. And we have people from Canada, it's 8 a.m. So imagine if all this actually coming together. We appreciate you. Madu came from Nigeria. Thanks so much for your me. Discussing today the bread. But yeah, Karakara from Ghana. Thank you so much. Ameji from Bidi Kebi. Okay, yeah, Yaki, Richie. So let's get it coming. That's the first item. This open introduction. And then we now move on. After the next few minutes, we go to the second item. So actually, we have two parts, which I'll be saying. First is the book launch, and then the ASMN, the African Scholars Mentorship Network Community Converge. I know this is our Utah season, so we don't want to make it as briskly as possible. Instead of initially we have planned for 3 hours, but we want to collapse everything in 2 hours. So by God's grace, we should be done in 2 hours, and I trust God to help us. Yeah, for that. Yes, thanks so much, Diane from Cameroon. We appreciate you. Okay, so let's get number 1 coming, the opening introduction, and now I will jump to the second item, welcome remark by the chair. I will do that in the next 5 minutes, and then we are on time. So just joining us. Okay, thanks so much. I want to appreciate us, despite the time zone, those joining from Australia, from Canada, North America, from Africa here, from all over the world. I will say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good day to every one of you. We appreciate you. You know, this time is quite crucial because most people are on holidays for mid-tide season. So you being here is a big sacrifice, which we don't take for granted. Thanks so much for your time. Yeah, my name is Evans Osavoyan. I'm a professor of economics at Community University in Nigeria. And by God's privilege, I'm the founding chair of the PECOS Institutions and Development Research Center, DADEC for short, in Nigeria. So, and by privilege, under that DADEC platform, I coordinate the African Scholars Mentorship Network, ASMN for short. And today is a big event, is the first of its kind. We're having the ASMN Community Converge and book launch. The Converge itself is basically to come together as members of ASMN and then discuss the year in perspective and we to plan for the next year. And today we also have a book launch under the book edited by our publication leader, Dadek, and many of our team members from across different parts of the world contributed chapters to this. And also the first of a kind, you're having a book launch on Dadek platform. So on that, I want to welcome you in the name of God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Ghost. Like I said earlier, we don't take your time for granted. We know there are a number of things you can do with your time now, particularly someone at the midnight, 3 a.m. Australia, waking up to join us. That's a huge sacrifice, which we don't take for granted, or somewhere else in Canada joining us. So we appreciate you for coming. And this is the agenda we're running with. We're taking the first one. Those who are just joining us, also keep your name coming on the chat, both here on Zoom, also live on YouTube. I already shared the link in case there's any issue with Zoom. You can also join live on YouTube. And I said, I'm taking this second part, welcome remark by Direct Chair and Assembly Coordinator. And like I mentioned, this event of 2 parts. After this welcome remark, we go to the next part, which is the book launch. In that case, we'll hear from the editor around the making of the book, and we'll have a short insight from the discussants. We have one of them already on the call, and some of the authors, or whatever, one or two, give us their insights from the experience in the book, and then open the floor for Q&A regarding, because the book itself is quite topical, which is energy efficiency critical time. But we just did a pre-launch media briefing, media conference about 2 hours ago, and the insight has been very, very wonderful, which we want to harvest that as well for today. And then part two, we'll go to ASMN Community Converge. So whereby two of our team members will reflect on the milestones in 2025, lessons learned, and then action plan for 2026. And then we'll have discussions and go on with that. So not to take our time, for that deck, for those of us joining for the first time, this program is under African Scholars Mentorship Network. This is what we have as a kind of framework in that deck. We have the DADEC ASME community, general community, those who have gone through our trainings, and currently there are close to 2,000 of them that have gone through our various training from ASME 1.0 to ASME 6.0. And those who want to take the journey further, come under ASME Premium. We have them batch 1, batch 2, batch 3, and batch 4. We just close batch 4 today, and by next year, we open up for batch 5. Then we have our direct team members and then the advisory board that provide the insight. So for ASMN, this is basically the short story around it. So the name came from when I was recognized by JPAL as an African scholar. So we want to see how we can replicate such platform for other African scholars across. Although we are now having many other scholars from non-African scholars. So we're having this, should we just make it African scholars, should we just make it general scholars? And the first of its kind was launched in this 28th of May, 2023. And since that time, we have trained, like I mentioned earlier, over 2,000 persons. So this is basically what we run. There's no time for this. There we have 3 pillars. We have said our mentees are like the co-pilots, the captain rather, while the mentor is the captain, and then integrity and honesty is very important for the mentorship that will work. And of course, frequent evaluation and check-ins are important. What we do involves both coaching, supervising, and also mentoring. And then the place of the various leader. I won't go into this now because it is in previous previous videos, which you can check on our YouTube channel. So on that, we come back to this later on when I go to feature shop plan for 2025. So I will now stop and go to the next item on our agenda, which is going to the book launch itself, which is I will just stop sharing my screen and welcome the editor to take us on. So we're now going to the book launch, the making of the book. Dr. Romanus, if you are in the house, I know you are. Okay, so let me stop my screen. And go on. Yes, what do you say?
Hello, can you hear me? Loud and clear.
Yeah, Doc, can hear you.
All right, thank you for this wonderful opportunity. Permit me to sit on because I'm sitting. Let me sit on the already established protocol. So we looking at presentation on this book, energy efficiency in critical time. So we look at the set model, the security, economics, and transition of energy. So this is in form of the content. So we will look at the origin of the idea behind the book, talk about brief discussion on the book itself, then distribution of the authorship, then we look at the content, findings, conclusion, and discussion continues and direction for future research, not only for researchers, but for policymakers, industry, and business expert. So first, the birth of the idea, I recall how the idea of the book came about. It happened in 2023, between the months of January, February, March, when I was doing a fellowship in Germany, Britain Hedeker University to be precise. But I got an email from Sylvia. This email, so according to him, he said, I recently came across your research on blah blah energy sustainability, energy finance and economic growth. So basically, requesting to have a book project with Sylvia on energy optimization, energy market, energy policy, and how this, including COVID-19 and how also Russia and Ukraine war impact the energy supply chain. Basically, the idea behind this is looking at how two critical themes, because the book started when there was a critical event, global critical event, the Russian-Ukraine war and COVID-19, looking at how these two events impact the transition of energy, impact the economics of energy, also impact the efficiency of energy. So if you look at these two major events, which was happening at the time of the addition of the book, the COVID-19 on one hand and the Russian Ukraine war. If you look at the COVID-19 impact energy efficiency along the supply chain, given that Russia is among the global players in the energy market, what is the economic impact? What is there for Africa, for Nigeria, and for other countries in the global south? So these two events, I look at how they affect the security of energy, how they affect the economies of energy in terms of the cost management, in terms of energy poverty. Will it increase the energy poverty for Nigeria, for Africa? How does it impact energy transition? Given at the time that when the world is talking about energy transition, moving away from the traditional energy sources such as the fossil fuel, charcoal, among others, moving away to renewable energy, to electric vehicle, to green building, among others. So that is basically the idea. But if you look at the Russia-Ukraine war, in the other hand, it leads to global energy shocks, and there was actually a shock in the energy supply chain because of the war, and because it will also increase the energy volatility in terms of price. When there's a disruption in one actor of the energy market, it will increases the price. And when the price increases, we know as economists that may reduce the purchasing power in terms of the demand, and the prices of energy may tend to increase. If the price of energy increase, that many households in Africa and in Nigeria will be drawn to energy poverty. And if you look at energy poverty in the global south is very high. And these two major events has increased the vulnerability of households. Most households, all households are energy dependent. But does it affect transition of energy now? So that is the idea behind it, behind this book. If I look at the authorship distribution, we have authors across the world. So I just plot a graph on the distribution of authorship. About 68.1% of authorship from West Africa, 10.6% from the Southern Africa and Asia mainly from India, Malaysia, and we have about 6.4% from Europe, mainly from Italy, from Turkey, and Czech Republic, and the rest of the world. So the book is of global relevance. The authors are globally distributed. It's not tied to one region. So this, they have about 20 chapters, and because of time, I will not be able to go all through. So I encourage you to pick up a copy. It's online, so you can just go to Google and type the title of the book. The book is online. You can pick grab a copy and read it. If you don't have access, you can request for a copy for free of charge. I will send you a copy. So we have about 20 chapters. The part one, I will look at them. I will not be able to go them chapter by chapter, so I will look at them in terms of parts. 20 chapters distributed in 4 parts. So the part one look at energy policy, energy security, and energy efficiency. And then we have different chapters. We have about 5 chapters. We have energy efficiency, we have circularity, insights, among others, service security, among others. Then the chapter 2 of the books talks about the energy transition and the impact in terms of socio-economic. You know, we're talking about this COVID-19, which is a major socio-economic factor. How does it impact sustainability of energy? How does it impact this transition of energy? How does it influence resource mobilization? If I'm able to mobilize resource today, energy resource, am I sure of tomorrow in terms of security? If I have it, what about the economic impact? How does it impact businesses and livelihood? The financing of renewable energy projects such as green building, solar power, electric vehicles, among others. So the portrait look at the clean energy and sustainability of this clean energy. Uh, Clean energy such as electric vehicles, energy aim at reducing carbon emission. And when carbon emission reduces, it will improve livelihood in terms of health, life expectancy. It will also impact growth and more others. Then in chapter 4, we talk about the governance, the political will in terms of achieving energy security, economics, and transition of it. Now we look at the major key finding. I summarize the key finding in 6 key points. The first one is talking about the energy policy strategy and the developmental outcome. So one of the major findings is a strong and coherent energy policy improves energy security, stabilizes energy in terms of the supply chain, and what happens? There will be growth, economic growth, and this list boils down to spillover impacts on the household. And also, with governance, lack of political will, what we see in Nigeria and Africa today, lack of political will, lack of governance, policy irregularity to manage energy poverty. If you look at Nigeria, the proportion of energy poverty is over 30%. And not just Nigeria, major African countries, energy poverty, you see some households, they still depend on a local lamp to generate energy. They still depend on their firewood and charcoal to generate for cooking and lighting, which these sources of energy impact welfare, impact their health in terms of I just did a paper on how these sources of energy impact on even mobility, impact of sight in terms of their eye, the effect on eye. So this local political will increases energy vulnerabilities and leads to slow industrial growth because many industries depends on energy for production to power their machines. So if they are not efficient energy, it will reduce the productivity of the company. And we know what happens to the economy when the industry is not functioning to its full capacity. So transition-ready countries, what they do, they already have integrated and long-term policy to support for renewables, for efficiency, and for grid modernization. So this is one of the findings. Another findings is that summarizing energy assets, efficiency, and security, they are deeply dependent and connected. So they are linked to each other. Access to energy is linked to any efficiency of energy, is linked to the security of energy. They are all dependent, so they are intertwined. One has to function effectively, but the other will function very well. So energy poverty restricts access to clean energy, restricts access to clean and modern energy, and widen inequality. So one of the, in summary, this aspect is talking about energy justice, which is the new area of research now, the reduction of energy justice. So if there's political will in terms of energy management, there will next energy injustice. Energy injustice talk about the proportion of household in rural area access to energy compared to the proportion of households in the urban area access to energy. There's a wide gap. In many rural areas, many households burn their candles, still burn their local lamps generated with firewood and others for cooking and lighting. So the major key findings are the feedback loop between energy consumption, human development, and industrial growth depends on each other, which should be corrected. So we are calling on the government. Another key finding is that renewable energy is viable but underutilized, majorly in sub-Saharan Africa. There's variability of it, but it is highly underutilized. So renewable energy is cost-effective and environmentally sustainable, but the adoption remains slow. Why? There are different reasons why the adoption of renewable energy. Many households in Nigeria don't know anything about renewable energy. Because of financial constraints, limited grid capacity, we have heard in many countries a year, national grid will collapse. I will not mention the name of the country. National grid will collapse more than 10 times. This will not lead to anywhere. And also that because there's insufficient private sector participation. So we're calling on the government, bring the private sector in collaboration. Political and institutional barriers, administrative bottleneck. This is a major and main barrier to renewable energy adoption in many countries. Lack of political will, lack of institutional framework, weak institutional framework, and all of that. So countries that are invest in renewable energy show better environmental performance and long-term economic resilience. If we compare countries in the global south and countries in the global north, if you look at the rate of adoption or investment in renewable energy compared to countries in the global south, you see a wide margin. So transitioning from developing to develop, there should be adoption of renewable energy. There is availability. So we are encouraging government to increase the household capacity to reduce the adoption of fossil fuel while transiting to renewable energy because of economic benefits and so many other things. Number four, so I summarize one of the findings in socioeconomic and environmental challenges, how they drive energy behavior. So poverty increase, it depends on traditional fuel uses, such I mentioned before, like I mentioned before that many households in developing countries, they depend on firewood, they depend on charcoal for warming, for heating, for lighting, and this has a greater impact on both the health because the level of emission somebody is hailing per the health, life expectancy, and general well-being. It has impacts on the environment, not only human being, the entire ecosystem, including animals and trees. So this socioeconomic factor is very important to drive energy behavior. Urbanization also tend to increase carbon emission because of industrialization. You have the cohorts of industry. But this can be mitigated if supported by clean energy technology and strong environmental governance. So we encourage government policy maker to increase on environmental governance, reduce waste, environmental behavior, green behavior. And each one of us should imbibe green behavior, not just the government, everyone. If you drink a bottle of Coke, don't throw it on the road, don't throw it away, look for a can. So imbibe on green behavior will help increasing green environment. Also, economic growth is driven by fossil fuel. For example, oil production of oil in Iran and other countries significantly raises CO2. But we are clamoring, let's reduce this emission of harmful energy. Green energy, clean energy, such as electric vehicle, study has shown to improve environmental performance, to drive economic growth and general welfare and helping of the entire population. So another for one of the five findings that technological innovation is reshaping energy markets. So this results that the modern energy markets, so they are moving away from towards smart system, digital infrastructure, advanced metering, not just at the end of the day, NEPA will just bring P unscrupulously. No, advanced metering, pay as you consume, and AI, thank God for AI. AI is helping in almost all the sectors of the economy. Even monitoring the metering system, AI can help tracking all these things. Also, demand response programs can help reduce energy waste and also free supply for individuals. So demand response program can help reduce waste, energy waste, less imbibe behavior from waste to wet. So this book introduces the term model, transactive energy and response model, where citizens reduce consumption and trade negative watts for incentive, and also a new pathway for flexible and consumer-driven energy market. So the last of the findings, in summary, is that gender inequality is critical but often ignored, say, an ignored dimension. So what this means that one of the strongest findings of all among all the 20 chapter is that there's gender focus, meaning that women bear the highest burden of energy poverty due to domestic rules. No, women have in Africa, I don't know about advanced country. In Malaysia, women don't cook for their husband. But for the country that I came from, Nigeria, as a woman, you have to cook for your husband because of domestic rule. Women perform more domestic role in Nigeria. Let me use Nigeria because I'm sure of that. Domestic roles such as cooking, catering for the children, among others. And this raises health exposure because the more you are using local means of cooking, such as firewood, the more you are inhaling smoke, not just head, impact sight also, biomass, and this one also limiting their decision-making power in the household. And what we can do in this aspect, government, stakeholder, everybody that is involved, that is concerned, all of us, empowering women to accelerate energy transition. This will improve household welfare. It will enhance community adoption of sustainable technology. So empower one woman means empowering 20 households. So the book provides one of the few integrative frameworks combining energy poverty, energy transition, and women empowerment. Then the general summary of the findings and conclusion of the entire chapter is that energy efficiency, clean transition, and robust energy governance. These four items are very important in achieving sustainable economic development. If you look at sustainable development goals, many of them by energy related, if you talk about seven affordable, if you look at I think sustainable cities, energy related, if we many of them climb 13 climate action, energy related, life online, 15, 14, life on life below water. All this that many of them of the sustainable development goals are energy related. So a successful global energy future depends on strong political framework, political technological innovation, inclusive participation of both the private and the government households coming together to improve sustainable energy investment, renewable energy, and modern energy infrastructure. This will help in global, in terms of transition and economics of energy. So what happens now? Future research. So studies in summary recommends future research to exploit these new areas, exploring new technologies for enhancing energy efficiency. What are the technology now, such as AI now, new AI, the way AI is coming now? How will AI, artificial intelligence, 3D printing, among all that, new technologies that enhance energy efficiency, reduce energy poverty in sub-Saharan Africa? How also assessing the future studies should assess the economic impact of energy conservation measures. How will energy conservation measure reduce energy poverty? So also, future studies should investigate the role of government and policies in summary, political will, the impact of political will and incentive on energy efficiency. Also, studying energy efficiency in different sectors and regions will also help in future research. Thank you. Thank you for participating.
Wow, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much, Dr. Romanus. I know many questions are coming on our heads. Then we talk about the Q&A. What we are doing that we'll quickly jump to the discussant who is already in the house. It came since Dr. Okoyemi Akiyemi Babajide, joining you from Canada. Thank you so much, Ma. So after that, we have two of the authors in the house, Dr. Piri from Zambia and Dr. Oluwayemi C. Adeleke from Nigeria. So we'll take a quick session. Dr. Piri, over to you, Ma, as the discussion. Let's welcome her with a clap, whether digitally or otherwise. Meanwhile, as we are talking, let's get our comment coming. Thanks so much. We will discuss them under the Q&A. Over to you, Ma.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay. I believe you can all see my screen. Prof?
Yes, you can see your screen and we can hear you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. I'd like to start by appreciating Professor Evans Osaban for this opportunity to be part of this, one of the discussants to discuss this very interesting edited book. I'm grateful for the privilege and I don't take it for granted. I appreciate Prof also for the great work he's doing within this community. I went through the page on LinkedIn and also the website. I was very impressed with the activities. They're well done, sir. And thank you for your commitment to growth of young people, young academia. Also proceeding, I'd like to just appreciate my lovely husband and my dad for joining. Thank you for taking the time for joining. And Dr. Henry, thank you for also joining. He's my colleague from the office here. And it was very exciting and delighted. He also has a PhD in economics and a very seasoned academia and policy analyst. We are both senior policy advisors with the government of Alberta here. Thank you for making out the time to support me. Okay, so it's going to be so difficult to do this in 10 or 15 minutes because I had so much to talk about going through this book. But I'll just try to put things in perspective and thank you so much for the author of this book, Dr. Romanos. It's so nice to see you again. We used to be colleagues at Converge University. Thank you so much for the amazing effort. I looked at those books several times and I knew that a lot will have gone into putting this together. I acknowledge your work, sir. God continue to bless you. Thank you for this work.
Thank you, Ma. Nice to meet you.
Yeah. So the book is on energy efficiency in critical times, security, economics, and transition. So just before I begin, I just wanted to emphasize the fact that energy efficiency is very critical, it's important, it's relevant, it's a global discussion. And maybe I just give a little bit background about myself. I'm an energy economist by training. I'm also an economist, but currently in the past 3 years that I moved to Canada, I've been working more on policy side of things and a little less on the academic side of things. So most of my research area looks at energy policy, sustainability, green growth, green economy. I'd always been very passionate about the environment and that connection between driving energy policy to improve environmental sustainability. So in a snapshot, those are the directions of research that I've been working on for about 10 years. And also my PhD dissertation is also around that area. So it is very, very important. It's an important discussion. You can see this from the European Union, where they talked about energy, where they've been, talking a lot about energy efficiency. And I just wanted to draw attention to the critical importance of energy efficiency in driving strong economic growth, sustainable development, because it helps you to use less energy to perform the same task. So it also helps to improve industrial performance, supports competitiveness that we need in the global economy. And also, if you look at this as well, this is also another page of an organization that is also working on efficiency, energy efficiency. And this talked about the critical role that energy efficiency plays in climate and sustainability goals, So, and some of them, happy that some of the publications, some of the articles in this publication, in this book, also point to that aspect about how it helps in addressing climate. So as an outline of my discussion today, I'm not going to be going through some of the things that the editor has talked about to save time, and just basically my role today is to just highlight some of the critical elements of this book, its importance, why does it matter, why should you take interest in picking up this book to read. So that's just what I'm going to focus my attention on. So the editor, again, has provided a very sound overview of the book for us. It has 5 parts. It's very rich, very comprehensive. That was one of the things I quickly noticed about this book. I love the fact that they connected different directions of energy economics within the energy efficiency triangle, where you look at not just only the economic aspect, but connecting the environmental aspect. I saw an article that was talking about the environmental, economic, and health benefit of electric vehicles, which I find very interesting. So having that connection around how energy efficiency just support different aspects of the economy, sustainable development, help in meeting climate goals, supporting sustainability, clean energy technology, clean transition, health, socioeconomic dimension. We're talking about energy justice the other time, energy equity, energy poverty. These are very strong social dynamic topics that even at the global stage, discussions are going on around. It also highlights global case studies. So it was not just limited to a specific geographical location, but they try to be very diverse in the case studies and the analysis, drawing from not only African countries, but also Asia, European countries. We had some contributors from Turkey, from Iran, from Italy, which made it appeal wider. So if you want a book that covers a wider scope, or whether you want one that covers global perspective in one book, this book captured that very well. And then I've talked about the critical role of energy efficiency in modern day. It's an ongoing topic. Even at COP25, we talk about it. Even on International Energy Agency, these are the topics that leading global organization on energy policy, they talk about and drive, especially because of its connection to enhancing industrial performance. So next I'll be talking about the relevance and importance of this project. Again, I was mentioning earlier that IEA is one of the leading organizations when it comes to energy policy, energy analysis, and being an energy analyst myself, I'd read a number of their publications. There was a time in my PhD work that their website, I don't think there's any day I don't go to their website. So they have rich analysis, conduct regular rich analysis on energy policy, energy efficiency, growth and all of that, and especially the link to economic growth. And they also have a rich database. So when you go there, you'll be able to see that if a leading organization like this keeps talking about the same thing over the years and how to make this better through clean technology, innovation adoption, technology adoption, and all that, then you know that it's a critical topic and very important and relevant to our time. And so why is the topic on energy policy critical? Because it is key to clean energy transition. If we want to have green growth, and green growth simply talks about having an economic growth that does not pollute the environment. In a snapshot, that's just when you hear me talk about green growth. We don't want an economy that is growing at the expense of loss of jobs or at the expense of the environment, which is what we've been having over the years. But now, because of the future generation, we want an economic growth that is sustainable, that is clean. You are growing the economy without environmental degradation. And so it's also a means to meet climate change goals, enhance energy security. And I'm sure everybody on this network is going to agree with me that Energy security has gotten to a critical level, and we need it more now than ever before, particularly due to geopolitical crises that we've been seeing in the past 3 to 5 years happening. And also, one of the things energy efficiency helps to do is reducing energy cost. Basically, like the first picture I showed you talked about, that is the quickest way and the cheapest way, basically for us to accelerate growth because of how energy efficiency also play a role in reducing energy bills. So these are some of the major themes that the book also tries to emphasize, which makes it very interesting and rich from my perspective and my point of view. Some of it has been highlighted by the editor, so I'm not going to go too deep into it, but the book was able to connect different aspects of energy policy and environmental sustainability, and also integrating the social element, institutional capacity building, the need for strong policy. I heard the author talking about political will. These are all very important. The circular economy as well. I like that dimension. I like the paper that also incorporated the circularity of the economy, and integrating that into the need for us to have an hybrid energy system, as harmful as fossil fuel is, and some of those other transition we're transitioning from, some of them might still be here for a while due to cost of technological adoption. And so you're seeing a kind of hybrid system where there is that slow transition from coal, from fossil fuel and all that to cleaner technology. And it's going to take phases, and it won't be a total departure. And then you see policy departure as well. You see a lot of countries departing from forced subsidy, providing subsidy on fossil fuel or non-environmentally friendly source of energy. And so you see that gradual process. So there's that gradual departure for policy. So everything has to work together. There has to be also behavioral willingness. So even as for us as individuals, and I'm going to talk about that in my final words, the need for us to also take responsive action. It's not only for you to go to academic conferences and seminars. I mean, those are beautiful and it's good to go there, but then it's also from those events for you as a person to also be able to make a conviction yourself that I will be part of this global effort to make the world a better place by playing my own role, either through reduction of waste, recycling, getting engaged in advocacy and all of that. So these are the critical themes that we talked about. And then why does this book matter? It's timely, it's relevant. Again, I've spoken so much about that in the background, so I won't really talk too much about that. It addresses a global challenge on how to balance energy efficiency with stronger industrial performance, with enhancing competitiveness. And the reason why that is very important is because that relationship is dynamic. A lot of times when you try to, because energy efficiency, remember we said, is about using less energy to perform the same task without it necessarily increasing cost. In fact, reducing cost, doing that as a lower cost. But sometimes it comes as a trade-off. Something will have to go for one. So it's achieving that strong balance, particularly the manufacturing sector to drive growth, that is critical. And the book is also strong in how it provides an interdisciplinary approach. You would see elements of technological discussion, talking about adoption of technological innovation, health benefit of certain policy changes in the energy sector, how it reflects on the. So you're seeing environmental dimension, you're seeing economic dimension, you're seeing talking about the rural and urban divide and energy access. A few years ago, I was privileged to be the project lead for a project where we're trying to analyze the gender impact of a project that the Nigeria Rail Electrification Agency were trying to do, the Nigerian government were trying to do an electrification project in the rural area. And they're trying to look at the gender dynamics, the gender gap, and also the gender impact of that project. Then it opened my eyes to see the divide between the rural and urban area in terms of energy access. And even though significant progress had been made in connecting the rural areas to energy access, but there's still more to be done because there's also the behavioral aspect of things where you can imagine that are international organizations that sponsors this distribution of light lamp, just source of energy or light solar panels, just those things to discourage people from using fossil fuel or wood fuel or fuel wood, however I want to look at it, to produce energy and reduce the burden on women. But you see some of those people, you find those things on the market, finding them, selling them off, or maybe they don't have an understanding of how to use it, or they just keep going back to the fuel wood option. So those are critical elements as well. But one of the great things I would say that makes the book compelling, it's also, apart from its ability to highlight successful initiative in various countries around the world, also the fact that it provides a strategic roadmap to achieve driving energy security, particularly for developing countries. Why is it a must read for everyone? For those of us if you're interested in the energy policy space, or looking at how energy, just understanding more about the role you can play um, in sustainability of energy systems. You want to know more about the interface between energy and the environment, how the energy sector plays a critical role in meeting climate change goals or clean transition, how electric vehicles will be able to produce better health outcomes, better socioeconomic indicators, and those dynamics and all that, this book is for you. And like I said, it's not, I like the fact that some of the papers do not have too much academic rigor. There are some of them that they use such plain languages and very descriptive, not use they didn't use too much of academic jargons, if I can say that even if you're not in the academic world, you can easily relate to some of these articles, and I really like that. It's a good resource for policymakers, for researchers, and even advocates of sustainability transition. And basically, if you want to have economic growth, I'm sure for those of us who are economists, we are always seeking for ways to enhance or accelerate economic growth. So this is very vital in doing that. And then in terms of actionable strategies that are pointed out on the book, we talk about hybrid renewable energy systems. And that's just the side that for some years to come, we will still get to combine hybrid, and that's also hybrid talks about having side by side, maybe like using generator with solar or using coal to produce power with other in technology system. Again, because of financial constraint that some of this technological adoption requires, the hybrid renewable energy system for now will still continue to play critical roles. It also highlights robust policy frameworks that can be used to drive policy to help to sustain some of this momentum that is beginning to gather and this commitment we are seeing. Institutional capacity building is also very key. And I know that this is one key area that Professor Evans works on. Is very passionate about strengthening the roles of institutional capacity, because that's also where political will comes in. And I think myself and Dr. Henry we were having the discussion some time ago, and we're talking about, the importance of political will in whatever you do. As an economist, you can do all your beautiful analysis, you can do all the modeling and have all the evidence, but if whatever evidence you produce does not support the political will of present political office, it may not fly. And so you're seeing economists also developing their skills in political economy as well to also balance that political compatibility with economic research. Smart technology adoption is also a key theme and actionable strategy that can help to propel what are going to be done. And like I said earlier, public awareness and behavioral change is also very critical. This is a very critical element that we are seeing, that there are environmentalists, there are climate advocates that are, talking about this and also focusing on what we can do as individuals to also do our role. And as final words, a call to action for sustainability and engagement. In our own little corner, in our own little research, in whatever we do, to carry the consciousness of sustainability and engaging on different platforms where we can to continue to emphasize the importance of energy efficiency and sustainability is key. The integration of policy and innovation is also very important. Technology is driving everything we do these days, and everyone is looking towards technology and innovation, but it has to be integrated into the right policy for it to generate the desired result. We all have our roles to play. The industry have their role to play, individuals too, in the way you dispose waste, the way you use energy in your house. I mean, almost everybody tries to, when you want to buy electronics, freezer, microwave, fridge, you see that washing machine and all those things, they talk about energy efficiency. They'll show you how much energy you're likely to be saving every year by using this particular model. And there was also a paper too that tried to analyze, I think it was, I can't remember the country now, I think it's Turkey or something, that they tried to look at the energy efficiency and, using washing machine for laundry and things like that. And also empowering through knowledge. We keep getting knowledge, and then through the publication of this book as well. And I'm hoping if it's something that is possible, you can have like a 3-page or 2-page or 4-page, however you can, to have a policy brief that will connect the various policy recommendations of the main themes of the book, not necessarily for all the articles, but drawing out the main themes of the policy implication or recommendation from this book, and just putting that as a policy brief that can be shared on knowledge platforms and even for policymakers and advocates. That would be very beautiful and helpful. Thank you for your attention.
Wow. Energy economy is talking, so who am I to comment on? Thank you so much, ma. So many things came up, and I was appreciative, particularly from the policy angle. I know even in some hotels, they tell you to use your towel, so by so you are saving energy as well. But now what I do, if I'm sitting in the hotel for 2-3 days, I don't change my towel. I also teach in the classroom. I also tell my colleague, the students, instead of using the shower to use more energy from water, can use buckets because you can manage the water usage. All of these are coming. So I don't want to jump the gun. The authors are in the house. We just take to them for time. We have Dr. Piri from Zambia and Dr. Deleke from Nigeria. Whoever is ready, just quick insight from the authors, and then we're now open to the Q&A. I can see many questions already coming on from AI to political will to collaboration already being forged to EEG, that should be efficiency and governance. Yeah, I see many are already coming up. So before we go on there, whoever is ready, Dr. Piri from Zambia or Dr. Adeleke, she says just few
Good
brief
evening, Prof.
insights as an author. Thanks so much, ma. Over to you. Yeah.
Good evening, Prof. Good evening, everyone. Good morning, wherever you may be. Afternoon. I'm Oluwayemisi Adeleke, and I was privileged to be one of the authors that contributed to the book chapter. I want to say before I start, I want to say thank you to Professor Evans for the opportunity to be our mentor, because we've learned so much from you from joining the African Scholars Mentorship Network. And also, there's been a time of growth, because there's no way I will talk about the book without talking about my journey in the African Scholarship Mentorship Network. So I'm honored to share my experience on this book, The Energy Efficiency in Critical Times, Set, Security, Efficiency, and Economy and Transition. Because this call for book chapter came at a time where everyone was talking about efficiency of energy, renewable energy, and it's like. And in Africa setting and less developed countries where we find ourselves, realize that most people cannot afford the renewable energy that we talk of, because a lot of people still rely on traditional fuel. So I had the privilege of contributing 2 chapters in this book, and one was with Dr. Saboyan, where we talked about the economic and the environmental and health effects of electric vehicles. And also I had one where I was the single author where I talked about how renewable energy, environmental regulation, urbanization, how it affects carbon emission. And the last speaker, discussant, was talking about energy policy and policy. We find out in environmental regulations because policies have a huge role to play in order to help transition of energy. So what I've learned during this time is that countries are trying to shift from traditional biomass to clean energy, adopting clean energy, because it is very important for and crucial for sustainable growth and sustainable development. If we are still in the era of using a lot of traditional biomass, it affects not just the health, not just the environment, it affects us as a person, it affects everything, because you cannot achieve sustainable development without adopting clean energy. It is part of the goals of sustainable development goals. So looking back, now I said I cannot talk about my contribution in the book without talking about the African Scholarship Mentorship Network. I might not have had the privilege to contribute to this book chapter if I was not part of the network. So I was privileged to join the African Scholarship Mentorship Network during ASMN 2.0. And since then, it has been a game changer, because by joining the ASMN, I've had the privilege of winning with a team, 4 of us in the ASMN, winning the Codesha Grant 2023-2024. I've also had the privilege of publishing in high-impact journals, Scopus and Web of Science, and of course, publishing in energy efficiency, which was a book published in Elsevier, is also one of the key points. And also, we've had a lot of mentorship, just as we've received mentorship from Professor Evans, Dr. Romanos, and several others. I've also had the privilege of mentoring others. And also, I've had the privilege of working with Dr. Romanos on several projects. I'm also one of the research associates under the publication and research unit under DADEC. And in all, what I can say is that based on the book chapter, based on my association with African Scholars Mentorship Network, it has been a hub of growth. That is, I've been able to grow academically, I've been able to grow professionally and also personally. And I'm grateful for the community, I'm grateful for the opportunity, and I'm grateful for God's grace in all that I've done. So I would like to say thank you to the community. I would like to say thank you to Professor Evans, thank you to all the team members that are here and have made ASMN a place of growth. And I also like to celebrate Dr. Romanos on his launch of this book today. And I say that would all experience growth in all that we do. In Jesus' name, thank you for your time.
Hey, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. D. MEC, Adeleke, thanks so much. We appreciate you. I don't know whether Dr. Piri is in the house. Dr. Piri from Zambia, and then we'll jump quickly now to Q&A. I can see many interaction already happening in the comment section. Let's keep them coming. So after Dr. Piri, we'll take comments from others and also try to respond to some of the questions on the comments. Let's keep them coming. Dr. Piri, you have the space now, all the way from Zambia. Dr. Piri, you are muted. If you can unmute, that would be great, so you can talk. It's muted. If you're not muted, okay. Otherwise, while you are waiting for Dr. Piri, let's take some of the contributors who are also here as participants. Who have, in particular, there, Dr. Felix, all the way from Australia. I think let's take it first because I know Australia, you are approaching 4 a.m. now. You're already in a different day. If you have said after Dr. After Dr. Felix, maybe we can take our other colleague, first colleague from Canada, Dr. Henry, and then we'll be to respond to the Q&A comments. Another person that want to talk, please, you can raise your hand. We can acknowledge you while we have, before we move on to the next segment. Yes, whoever said, please, you can raise your hand or acknowledge you. Dr. Henry, Dr. Piri's mark is not muted. I don't know why he's not talking. Or Dr. Felix from Australia. Anyone
All
else?
right.
Yes, sir.
From my hand, again, I just want to thank the presenters and especially yourself, Dr. Evans. And I've had the privilege now, the past 11 months, to work with Dr. Romanos, and I just want to commend him and his team for the work they do in your center, and of course, being able to also mentor people globally is a significant contribution. And just this afternoon, I had a guest here, and I was sharing with him, talking about Dr. Romanos, that is in the top 2 scientists globally, and we're just celebrating this here in Australia. Again, I just want to wish you guys the very best, and being able to work with you has been a privilege too. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Well, I'm hearing so much that. Okay, we are still on Q&A. Well, if you want to talk, please raise your hand. We acknowledge you. But remember, Roman, there are some Romans and I think you guys are energy economists. I'm an national economist. So there's a question on the energy economists. If you can check this, the comment, but I think there are 1 or 2 that are quite germane. That okay, Dr. Chu says she's willing to partner on AI and energy. I think that is good because I learned recently that whenever you use ChatGPT or AI, you are consuming almost 8 times energy as normal Google search. I don't know how true is that. I just cannot come across that post that using AI consume more energy. So that also talk about will AI and energy efficiency become mutually exclusive or mutually inclusive. I think that's the topic that our energy experts and AI experts can have a kind of marriage. So Chinwe and Romanus, that's and Okoyemi, that's a very veritable outshot for next research. And I also mentioned somebody's on, I think I mentioned that he's willing to work on energy sector now. But let me go to the one that are quite questions per se. Okay, this one is yeah, okay, that's a Okoyemi response on EV environmental. Yeah, there's a question from electric car from Diane, all the way from Cameroon. Say, but electric vehicles are not as environmentally friendly as commonly perceived. The extraction of raw materials for batteries such as lithium, cobalt, nickel causes significant environmental degradation. So, Okoyemi or Romanus, can you help us understand that? Because I think when you go to electric energy, we'll be more friendly than fossil fuel. I know your PhD was on fossil fuel. Now, I say that there's a one that electric energy, electric vehicle will have more. So where do we go for understand? Next time when we're talking about another issue. So energy expert, please make us understand it better.
Yeah, thank you, Prof. I think I provided a partial response in the group. And
Okay.
yes, absolutely, I agree with him. There are still issues around electric vehicles. I mean, we see some of them in the news. So it's not so perfect. It's just one of the options. And that was why I talked about hybrid energy system that will still be used for a while, just because some of these transition mechanisms are not perfect yet. And as I mentioned, the way some of so electric vehicle itself is clean, but then the process on the value chain, how possibly some of the materials are extracted, how they are gotten, and it's just like the issue of resource extraction. There are, indications and research that has pointed to the fact that any country you see where their resource rich, either oil, gold, diamond, there would always be conflict. So those are some of the spillover effect. At the end of the day, because of the conflict that this resource-rich areas have, they don't even enjoy the growth from the resource they have because of all the conflict, all the fight and the violence, the fight for the resources that goes on for a lot of years. So, and even for the paper, if you go through the paper, because it was one of the papers I had keen interest in, you will see that the results are even missed. And I got a bit confused, when I saw it and, saying that they actually found that, EV adoption led to increase in carbon footprint, which is funny because you expect that it should reduce carbon emission, but they actually found a positive relationship. So those dimensions are still there, either through direct or indirect relationship through it. So, and then technology adoption. As technology grows every year, we begin to research better ways, cleaner ways of doing this extraction. So thank you very much for that comment. And then again, if the authors are, I know Dr. Romanos is one of the authors, something on that paper, so you can provide more context. And for AI, yes, I won't be able to provide much insights on AI because that's a growing area now, but I believe in the nearest future we're going to see more contribution, but I'm always very cautious about AI because it still has this negative effect to it. It's just dynamic in the way you use it. There are still some limitations with AI, and so research is growing in that area to strengthen and mitigate some of the risk of AI in terms of data exposure and some of those things. So it's a critical element, and I'm sure that there are research that are coming up on integrating, ensuring AI helps in strengthening that relationship between energy sector and the environment. And as technology gets better, then we begin to get more creative to be able to contribute better. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thanks so much. So I think there's another area that we can look at in this. So there's I don't think it would be too much to have another book to talk about energy efficiency, AI, and electric vehicle, the nexus or the trade-off. And so I have many points. So let's see how we can take that on. And at that deck, we have such privilege and opportunity to midwife such a process. There's another comment from Dr. Henry. Thanks so much. He said, overall, good work, good information. I think there's a need to engage decision makers to realize these ideas. Going forward, are there any strategies to engage our political operators beyond the book's recommendation? Thank you for all. Yes, I just want to mention that today we did a pre-launch media press briefing. We have media from Guardian for Nigeria, so that the ideas shared today will reach the policymakers, and much more so. I think I've small as bunch of policy briefing. And another thing is that is whenever we are having an opportunity, I'm a member of Nigerian Economic Society Council. So whenever opportunity to champion these kind of ideas, which can take that. So Henry, thanks so much for that. They're going to be a press release for this event on book launch, and also the idea of a policy brief. We'll look into that as well. That's what Direct does. We have such platform to showcase it. And actually, there are person from different three media houses that cover the event at the pre-launch. So that's so thanks so much, Dr. Henry, for that. I think there's one more comment before we are now. We have 1 or 2 minutes for the Q&A before we jump to the next agenda. But if you have any quick burning comments, can raise your hand. We acknowledge you. Let me check with the senior down. I'll take issue of electric vehicle. There was one from Osaro. I think it's the same thing that you mentioned around the political will, which is I think yes, Dr. Osaro is saying like excellent work. Is energy-based institutional exploitation of citizens covered in the book? Yes or no? If it's not there, that would be like further research. Yeah, it's excellent work. Excellent work. Is energy-based institutional exploitation of citizens covered in the book? If it's there, yes. If not there, please, you can look into the next.
Dr. Saro, short answer is no. So
Good.
recommendation, if you look at my recommendation, look at how modern, I don't know if I can check one of the recommendations.
If it's
One
not
of the
recommendation,
recommendations is to look at how modern energy, such as AI, influence energy efficiency. Dr. Chinwe have put in the chat that we can collaborate. She's an AI expert. So let's look at Dr. Chus has dedicated influence. So looking at how AI but will improve or mind energy efficiency. So look also that will also cover the trade-off and the opportunity cost of AI while aiming for energy efficiency? Thank you.
Thank you so much. They say in this balance, the reward for hard work is more hard work. We are praising this book, and there's another idea for more book. So I think Dr. Chu has shown interest, Dr. Chu has shown interest regarding the energy efficiency, Sarah. So let's see how we can take that on. Now, Dr. Please, hand is up from Zambia. Dr. Piri, over to you. Then after that, we'll now jump to the next item. Thanks so much, Dr. Piri, you can unmute yourself and speak now. You are still muted, Dr. Piri. Oh my God, hope it's not network. Piri, can you? Yes, go ahead now.
Yes, so maybe I just wanted to comment that before I comment on my experience with the book, I think what helped me to appreciate getting into writing the book is the power of collaborations. I think you remember Professor Kuburn when I was visiting lecture at Converge University. I think we had a working relationship with some of you. I think Dr. Okafa, Victoria, Romanos, the editor, yourself. So I just want to encourage our colleagues that when there's opportunity to collaborate, even if it's just a lecture, it can actually go a long way. So I did contribute to the book where we wrote chapter 11, which is oil production and CO2 emissions in Iran. So it was one of the articles that we thought of exploring from outside. We worked with an author from Iran together with other authors around the continent. It was a very great experience. I learned a lot from it. And I'm also hoping that maybe we'll be able to edit a book. So it was a good experience. I was learning from Romanos. I was learning from the other authors. And I also wanted to emphasize that it's great that you push this issue of energy, climate, and all. I, for one, I'm actually open to collaborate. So I've been looking at industrialization, energy, oil production. Maybe we can even look at the Asian countries, the BRICS group of countries. So if anyone is still open to that possibilities, I think some of us enjoy writing, so it would be great to write something with a team of authors from West Africa. I actually was hoping that the time I was visiting lecture, I would have come to Covenant, maybe had some Ogbono and Egusi, but unfortunately we had COVID and we only had to do it online. So I think let's encourage each other. It's a good experience. We made friendship and lasting connections. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. We can't talk enough on the collaboration. Thank you so much. Even though you're in Zambia, we're here in Nigeria, we're working together. So more collaboration, that's what actually the African Scholars Mentorship Network stands for. Thank you so much, Dr. Piri. We appreciate you. There's a quick question from Dr. Adep, actually last one now, for now go to the next item. Dr. Adepoju Adeyemi, what would be your take on energy efficiency or energy sufficiency in these critical times? So efficiency, sufficiency, put you on the RCC. Is it cover your take on for future research? Pretty much, let's check there's other comment on YouTube, please. Efficiency versus sufficiency. Okay, I'm not an expert in that. Dr. Boy, there's a question on that, maybe from your political angle. Energy, what would be your take on energy efficiency or energy sufficiency in this critical time? Yeah, muted, man. Doc.
Yes, thank you very much, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a very, very valid question. I'm happy that came up. So I think when we talk about energy efficiency versus energy sufficiency, we talk about the balance between, like I said earlier in my presentation, efficiency talks about using lesser energy to perform the same task and have the same outcome without increasing cost. And then with sufficiency, it looks more about, and so you see that energy efficiency even talks more about like technology innovation, using technology to drive change and things like that. And then for sufficiency, I believe, with my understanding, I think it's more about behavioral cultural shift. So for example, deciding instead of driving to work, you decide to bike to work. I was in Sweden for 3 months sometime in 2019, and I was amazed that the research institute where I was, even up to director level and staff, you see them come to the office with bikes. They have even parking space for bikes. And so and so there are even some bicycles that you see with baby with car seat, like a space for children to sit down on. And maybe that might be easier for Europe, because when I moved to Canada, I realized that might be easier for Europe because of the smaller land space. But because Canada is a bit wider, I saw that adoption was more difficult. You see some people bike, but it's not as much as Europe, especially in the place like Amsterdam. I think they
So
probably
your
say,
people are texting me, so let me just see them. They are, when you go straight, Kylie, Zanaco is by the corner.
so,
Just open the Singapore
they
storage, there's
have
a
more
place there. So let
bikes
me see
than
them, then I'll
even
text
human
you.
beings.
You
And
know,
so these are some of the behavioral changes. It could just be trying to encourage people to have behavioral shift and appealing to them to, okay, instead of driving to work and increasing emissions, you can carpool, you can take transit. Even in my city here in Edmonton, we have some of the transit buses that are already electric vehicles. And so you have those other options. So those are some of the elements that I understand are the areas between the two of them. And so the biggest shift for me, I think, is energy efficiency, focusing more on technological change, improving technology to reduce the energy use. Maybe for a machine, it used to use 1,000 kilowatts, and then there is now technology advancement that makes you to get a machine that uses less energy and you still get the same output or more output. So you're spending less on bills. Why for energy sufficiency, you're looking at how to appeal to people to take on personal responsibility, advocate for more changes when you're leaving your house. Those small things about turning off electrical component that is not in use. And like Prof said earlier, encouraging people to bathe from the bucket rather than using the shower and extracting more energy. I don't know if that makes sense. And Dr. Osabo, Dr. Romanos can add more.
Make it quick. And compare that with Kamara's question on inequality and injustice
Okay,
and energy poverty. So let's go to this one.
the Canadian-based researcher has spoken. What have I to say? So the person that asked the question, is it sufficiency? Is it efficiency? The book covers both, and I will lean what Dr. Akinyemi said. Efficiency talks about technology, improvement in technology, but sufficiency talks about behavioral changes. If I have electric iron, why will I burn my charcoal iron to iron my clothes? So basically, when you have efficiency, maintaining the same output with lesser usage of energy. If you look at the title of the book, it talks about the sect security, which is sufficiency in this aspect. It talks about economies and transition. So the transition there makes energy efficiency. Then while the security talks about the sufficiency of energy, behavioral changes, green behavior. Some of the chapters in the book talks about green behavior. How, in fact, if I drink a bottle of Coke, how would I put it on the road when there's a bin there to reduce weight, to reduce environmental impact? So in summary, when you talk about efficiency, the book covers both, and we encourage all of us to adopt both. Efficiency, improve technology; sufficiency, behavioral changes, green behavior. And thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's keep the discussion coming. We're now moving to the next. We'll cover the part A, but we'll spend more time here. Quickly, I'll just go to part B. And before that, just to mention what I said, like today we did the book launch today with a person from the media and other experts, and this is the book itself. So as we said, let's go to the link has been posted on our chat. Let's check the book. And for all of us in ASME Premium ASME group, we can send to you by email the book, the full book for you to read. So just send email to the editor or to programs@dadec.org. Charity, please help us put the email address so we can just send you the book for free. So we can read. If you want more engagement. And now, thankfully, one of the things I'm so happy today that we have gotten more insight to collaborate more on other emerging issues, which is very important. So let's keep the comment coming. We want now to jump on to the next item so that we can make progress. I promise 2 hours for the whole event. So Dr. Chinwe and Dr. Solomon, if you're ready, let's and one of the things that you want to cover on this committee Converge, it is also some of the reflection for next year, which I've seen one of the idea coming on to now be to do another detailed book and collaborate more on papers around this energy efficiency or sufficiency, energy poverty, all of that. So these are things that we want to take on the next aspect. Dr. Chinwe, Dr. Solomon, whoever is ready, please jump on. Thank you so much. But let's see the comment coming. We'll see another Q&A towards the end.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, who's Solomon, what's your
Thank you, Prof.
Yeah. Yeah, you can share your screen, sir.
Yeah, good evening to everyone. Let me start by appreciating the chair of DADEC, Professor Evans, the editor of the book.
Please, Solomon, let's take screenshots before our discussion leaves. Please, you can just stop sharing. Let's on our camera. Let's just take a picture, please. Our media will ask me, I don't want to be a stubborn chair. So please. They will say that's not efficient. Okay, thanks so much. Esther, thanks so much. Let's do our camera. Please, that is not camera-able. Otherwise, please, they will ask me. Thanks so much. Okay, thanks so much. Deborah, Aminat, whoever is, please, let's on our camera. I will take on, let's on our camera quickly so we can take our quick. Thanks so much. Yeah, 1 minute. Thanks so much. Amit, thanks so much. Gabriel, Yemisi, Chooks. Yeah. Thank you so much, Marianne. How are you, ma? Everyone like chat. Thanks so much.
I'm fine.
Yeah, thanks so much. Okay, more. Please, 1 minute, more. Let's see. 1 more minute remaining to. Let's take a. Alesoji, happy New Year. Been a while. Okay, Charity. Oh, camera is not on. Okay. It's okay. Otherwise, I think I'm done. Okay. So Solomon, please, what you will take what as thanks so much. Solomon, thank you for your time. Yeah, what is that?
Thank you, Prof. Yes, I want to appreciate Dr. Romanos for giving us opportunity to be part of this book. As one of the authors in the chapters from the book, I want to appreciate your effort and for also teaching us, mentoring us in different ways. Yes, in research and publication, we are already looking forward to 2026. This unit is headed by Dr. Romanos and myself, and we are already planning about our activities in 2026. I'm going to be talking about the cluster activities, manuscript submission guidance, focus outlet, and also to remind us about the data journal and also our expectation for 2026. So without wasting our time, I don't know, can you see my screen?
Yes, you can see it.
Oh, thank you, sir. Yes, from the batches 1 to 3, we are still waiting for the secretariat for batch 4, the new batch, to be divided into clusters based on their disciplines. These are the batches we have, the cluster that we have on grant. And at this point, I believe each of these cluster, the members are busy with one manuscript or the other. And we're also planning toward the 2026 that's to keep our members more busy than usual for each and every cluster. We want every cluster to be active and to be working on a particular manuscript or the other at any point in time. We have some group that are working on 3-4 manuscripts at a time, which we encourage, but we are planning toward making our cluster more active. If you must have seen from in the morning, Dr. Romano sent a message out for us to submit our publication that carries DADEC affiliation. And these are one of the plans that we have. We are going to develop some things that we are going to be keeping ourselves abreast of trend. When people publish, we will be aware. We are going to do 1 or 2 things on how to monitor that so that we can at any point in time tell us that this is the number of publications we have from our ASMN clusters. I will also talk about the focus outlets. We are not just publishing, we are publishing outlets that are indexed in the Web of Science, in the Scopus, ABS, and whether Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 start from the start. For some of us that are just joining the ASMN, we can target different journals with our mentors that are indexed in all this our focus. This is our focus area. And that is why if you read the message that was sent out in the morning, it's only Scopo index journal, not ordinary journal. All right. And what are the plans for us? Like just like as a reminder, we are going to be, publication from ASME Premium members with DADEC affiliation Scopus Index Athlete. We have talked about this. This message has been sent out. Also, there will be award for best published ASME Premium members. We have talked about this for a long time, but we are still trying to look at the way to capture all the publication that carries our affiliation and the process. What are the process to achieve this? We are going to develop a Google form. I'm already working on this. I will share with our chairman so that we can work together with the secretariat and see how we can document each and every publication from our members. This will also assist us to easily collate the number of publications. Also, as a reminder that we provide journal, you can contact any one of us at any point in time to, for your publication guidance. Dr. Romano is always there for us. Anytime we approach him, he's always ready to provide assistance. And also, we have organized this seminar before, earning honorarium from publications. I think in this year, 2026, we are still going to learn and relearn. I'm informing Dr. Romanos already on earning honorarium from publication. The seminar, we are going to still work on this so that we can have the workshop on this. As a researcher, you are not supposed to be poor. As a researcher, that is what we are supposed to expose ourselves to in ASME. It's one of those things that we value. How do we earn from our publication? As researcher, we are not supposed to be poor. So we are going to have this seminar any moment from now. I will discuss with Dr. Romanos as well, so that we know the time for this. We have already done it before. We continue to do it. Even myself, I've not really explored this area, which I still want to relearn how to make money from my publication. And also as a reminder, there is always an opportunity for APC collaboration. If you are writing, probably you want to submit a journal, you can contact the units. Probably the journal you are targeting is not on subscription that you need to pay for the open access. You can always contact the unit led by Dr. Romanos. Yeah, we are always ready to assist in this area. And also to remind us about our journal is already on. Our journal is already on grant. The first issue will be published very soon. The first of it will be published very soon. We are working seriously on this. And also, if you have not submitted your article to this journal, it's an opportunity for us. We are still accepting papers, manuscript, quality manuscript for that matter. All right. Also, our expectation for the year 2026, we want to be more involved. We want our members to be more involved in this coming year, collaboration and partnership within and across clusters, as well as general DADEC and ASME community. We want to be involved in grant winning, grant writing and winning, research output. We want to increase our publication output. Also, we want to increase the number of our members that attend conferences. And how do we do this? Is by our involvement in our activities. Virtually every day, we see different opportunities on our platforms to apply for. Let us take this opportunity serious. We can always write in any area that is published. All right. Okay, I've talked about earning an honorarium from publication and also from APC. So this is our expectation. This is what we are expecting from our unit in year 2026 to be more involved and for all our members to also be more active on our platform. So we welcome ideas, we welcome suggestions to make our cluster more active. We welcome our ideas. We have appointed coordinator for each of our cluster batch by batch, which I believe is going to be shared very soon by the chair. I know it's also going to talk about this. Some of us have been contacted, some of our active members have been contacted to coordinate so that we make sure that all our clusters are active at every point in time. So these are what we have at the publication and research unit. I don't know if Dr. Romanos has one or two things to add. Thank you, and God bless.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Solomon Kwade, journalist from University of Johannesburg.
University of South Africa.
Okay, Unisa, thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thanks so much. We just take the next one, Dr. Chinwe, on programs. Chinwe is our technical and AI expert. Then after that, Chinwe will now have another follow for Q&A. Okay. Just to make sure that regarding the code I went out today, we see open it maybe at the end of the year, so that we can harvest publication that we have done 2025 or 2025 or 2024 and assess. Then for batch 4, there was batch 4, there were requests for extension. Those that want to subscribe, that's why we've not done the cluster. But after today's event, we'll close that batch 4 window so that we can allocate them to cluster and the profiling. And then next year we open for batch 5. So those are couldn't join for now. We understand. So you wait for batch 5. But after today's event, we'll close batch 4 so we can put in clusters and they need to collaborate. Thanks so much, Solomon, for that. Yeah, Chinwe, you're already there. Thanks so much. Over to you.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you're joining from. Good early morning, wherever you're joining from. Yes, my name is Chinwe Peace Igiri. I'm here to say thank you, first of all, to Professor Vance for the privilege, for always bringing me on board. It seems as if we've known for many years. I just met Professor Vance. That was January, and we have been collaborating since then. So thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for the team. So today we want to just share a few tips on how far we have gone in this 2025 and where we're going to 2026. And I titled it From Intention to Impact, ASMN 5.0, ASMN 6.0, CAD 1.0, and the 2026 agenda. So we're here to share a short story of how scholars moved from uncertainty to clarity and how 2026 will scale this journey for us. So we have these questions and we decided to attend to it. And these are the various headings. We'll be looking at them from the first one, the questions we had, the turning point, the voices, from skill to judgment, credible reflections, from curiosity to capability. And then we have the testimonies from Cat 1. And then we move on to how we're going to move on with all of this in 2026. So we had these questions. How do we write, or how do I write a competitive grant proposal? Permit me to turn up my video in so that I can, sorry, where's the, all right, thank you. So we had these questions. How do I write a competitive grant proposal with confidence? And another question say, how do I publish with integrity in a crowded ecosystem? Another person was asking, how do I write AI responsibly? How do I use the AI responsibly without losing the scholarly rigor? Then the last question comes, how do I use data to strengthen research and decision? As you can see, these pictures here, they are not just AI makeup, they are real people. And these are questions from these real people. These are not just abstract questions, they were lived academic realities. So let's move to the first turning point. That was in sometime around March, if I'm not mistaken, we had ASMN 5.0. And the people you are seeing here are some of our facilitators during this program. The program is a structure of mentorship bootcamp on craftsmanship and scholarly growth. It also focused on strategy, narrative clarity, collaboration, and persistence in writing grants, or in applying for grants. And then the participants left with strong grasp of alignment and budgeting and scholarly growth. If you check out the engagement from this session, we have participants from almost every part of the globe. We have 15 plus to 20 to up to 24 countries across Africa, Europe, North America, Asia, underscoring its continental and global relevance during this ASMN 5.0. Here are the voices of these participants. These are real people, like I said earlier. According to, let's take a few of them. According to Samuel Lukej, he said he's all the way from Kanyombo University, Uganda. So creating a compelling narrative that engages reviewers is vital. That is what ASMN helped me to master. Another voice from Sierra Leone, that's Amara Kabo of University of Sierra Leone, said, understanding how diverse perspectives improve research quality has shaped how I approach collaboration. Then you have another one from Hoffman, all the way from, I think that should be, let me see, all the way from Ethiopia, University of Ethiopia. According to her, he said, according to him, he said, the training offered clarity and structuring proposal, budgeting, and aligning funders' priority. The session on AI-related grants, even for non-AI researchers, was particularly empowering. So these are voices from various participants during the ASMN 5.0. These voices are quite evidence of mindset shifts. So moving on to ASMN 6.0, which was held sometime in October. Yes, which was held sometime in October. During this program, we looked at advanced mentorship anchored in strategic alignment and ethical leadership scholarship. Some of the topic also include responsible AI use in research and proposal development. Another episode was on publishing integrity and avoidance of pediatric outlets. And then we also have an episode on stronger emphasis on policy relevant and research uptake. During the ASMN 6.0, that was one of the hallmark of ASMN, because during this, we have about 4% participants from ASMN 1. We have like 4.5% participants from ASMN 2. 2.0, we have also in that line. And if you look at this graph here, we have almost 400 participants that registered for this program that are entirely they've not joined any of our program. And what does this tell us? This simply shows, this simply shows the growth, the improvement, the engagement, and the collaboration across Africa. And besides, if you look at this, someone that attended ASMN 1 is there that should be from 2024 or 2023. I'm not sure of exactly when it started. And the person continued until this ASMN 5. That tells you they are actually gaining something. Otherwise, they won't be here. So ASMN 6 did not only teach scholars what to do, it strengthened them how to think. And here are the voices from the various participants in ASMN 6.0, according to Annette Oko from Kenya. She said, AI is an enabler, not a driver. And then we have another voice from Fred from Boteng University, Uganda. He said, wow, episode 1 of ASMN 6.0 was truly enlightening. The most useful lesson I learned was the importance of grantmanship in securing funding and research projects. Understanding that grantmanship is not just about writing a proposal, but about telling a compelling story that aligns with the funder's goal and priority was a game changer for me. So that was from Fred Ufara from Uganda. Then we also have another voice from Uyo, and that's Fubi Andrew. According to her, said, this time, I am so delighted to learn that there are more services that AI can provide, be it an assistant and not a replacement. We have another voice from Nigeria, and that's from Princess from Nigerian Defense Academy. You can read more of this from our website. Then moving on to CAT 1.0, and someone will be wondering, what is CAT 1.0? CAT is an acronym for Course Applied Data Science. This is a program we held on August. That should be from August 16 to sometime. It was a 10-week program of intensive training where participants from various parts of the globe, you can see them. These pictures you are seeing are live. They are real people anyway. And the person at the center is one of our facilitators for this program. The program covered practical aspects of data science, data analysis and visualization using various visualization tools. The participants were exposed to AI-assisted literature review, because one of the core takeaways from this program is that each participant should come up with a publishable article. So while you are doing your data analysis, we also introduce them on how they can do literature review using AI assistant credibly and ethically to do that. So we can confidently say that a confidence was breached between learning and application. So here from the horse's mouth also, These are the testifiers of CAT 1. We have Dr. Lovett Ode from Nigeria. He said, improve knowledge on AI assisted analysis. We have another voice from Cameroon, that's Dr. Balonke. He said, I learned vibe coding, which is instruction given to Gemini to execute. Methods of data analysis and visualization. The interaction section have been mouth-watering and a key to advancing my research career. I will encourage those in academia and industry to be part of the next advanced data science section. And that tells us we don't only have people from the academia, we also have people from the industry in the person of Mr. Olusegun Oloye from Hawaii Technology. He was part of this CAT 1, and according to him, he said, to be candid, the course reignited my passion for solving real-world problems through effective use of data. It also renewed my drive to pursue a career in cybersecurity, giving me a fresh motivation and clarity on the journey ahead. Then we have all the way from South Africa, that's Dr. Esosa Obadanu. According to him, he said, learning how to vibe code is my major key takeaway. Now, moving forward in 2026, scaling with this intention, having gathered momentum in 2025, we are not planning events, as you can see, we are building durable ecosystem. So in 2026, we look forward to CAT 2.0, seeing the success of CAT 1.0. And this will be kicking off from 15th February to 5th April 2026. It's going to be another exciting session, and registration is already ongoing. So you can just go to our website, sign up for it for the early bird registration. I think early bird registration will end ending of this December. So please do not miss the opportunity. Even if you're not, if you're a professor and you have students under you, please, you can encourage your students to join, and you have less stress to guide them in data analytics. And of course, they will give you quality work in their research. So during this CAT 2.0, we'll look at how to deepen the models, stronger applications, wider reach. Then we're also looking at ASMN 7.0 from 24th of May to 14th of June, 2026. We're going to organize another cohort of admin mentorship in order to sustain the mentorship for research, leadership, and grant competitiveness. Yes, we have another upcoming event from 7th to 9th of October 2026, and that's a Direct Belt Conference. It's going to be a convening that connects researchers, policymakers, societal priorities. And the focus of this conference will be on climate change, for security, human capital development. I encourage you to be part of these meetings. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much, Dr. Chiwe. Thank you so much. Now we are going to Q&A, the last one for this event. So if you have a burning thing in your mind, you can raise your hand. Otherwise, some people will be putting on the comment. I'll be responding to them as well as I can. You can please stop sharing your screen now. Let me jump onto my calendar and see what we have there. Can you stop sharing, please?
Sir.
Okay, thank you so much for that insight. Well, yes, I think I have a very, before I call for that comment, well, I saw a post, it was just also of a professor in Hong Kong University or so, who had to resign his approved as a professor, and because one of the work he published with his PhD students was said to have citations that were not, they were fake citations. And the paper was a retract, I think, by Nature, Springer Nature. And because of that, according to that report, out of the 61 references in the paper, 20 of them, at least 20 of them were not actually citations. And I think the panel was set up and the professor has to resign his appointment. So now that gets me scared. Whether we have to collaborate with younger colleagues, how safe are we with AI age? I think one of the things you mentioned on your talk was the issue of how to use AI responsibly. That's another area maybe during Q&A we can take on board. Just to make sure that we're on course. We have covered most of the things here. This one are Q&A. Just to mention earlier, I said the book launch, the physical pre-launch media press was done today. That's the photograph from that. More are coming later on from our media. Just to mention, for the ASMN trend, I would say, the very first one we did was the 20th of May. So what we do in each year, we did two ASMN series, and they're free of charge. For year 2023, we did the two, ASMN 1.0 and 2.0. For 2024, we did two again, ASMN 3.0 and 4.0. And for this year, as the ending 2025, we did two again, ASMN 5.0 and 6.0. And by the grace of God, next year, as we do two as well, ASMN 7.0 and ASMN 8.0. Usually we do each of them per first half of the year, we do 7.0, and the second half we do ASMN 8.0. So that's how we run it. And for each of those general ASMN training, we harvest those that want to go for further mentorship, which you call the ASMN members. So let's check out on the website. Just go to the website, click join the network, you will see the details. For the event we have for the year that Chima has mentioned, I put some of them on the chat. Otherwise, when you go to our website, click event to show all events we have. Now, somebody's hand is already raised. Dr. Fonde Kumar, that's from, is it from Togo or from Benin Republic? What are you? So you can put the comment on the question on the comment, or if you can raise your hand like you have done, we'll take it. I'll make it brief so we can take more persons. Yes, sir. Mon ami. S'il te plaît. Dr. Fonde Camara, your hand was raised.
Oh, Prof, thank you very much.
Yes, mon ami. Bienvenue.
I'm from Sierra Leone, but currently I'm in Kenya.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes.
West
yes.
to East Africa. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a Sierra Leonean anyway, but I'm in Kenya.
Okay, sir.
Yes, I'm sorry to bring this up. I think one of the presenters mentioned something on publication that if you want to publish, you can contact the research unit for publication. I could remember I contacted you before I published my paper in another journal. I was thinking that our journal is dealing with multidisciplinary fields, so that when someone wants to publish, you may find it very easy to publish. Although you referred me, Professor Evans, you referred me to someone, but he was unable to share a journal that is suitable or covers my area of studies on macro.
Are you done, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah, thanks so much. I appreciate it. I will quickly respond. Yes, we have our own journal, who is, I think, Solomon has mentioned that it's all indexed. Is there it here? Do you have it here? Oh, it's not here. What? If you go to our website, I can just call it up, journal, dialect or journal. Let me just quickly dig it out so that we have it ready. Then I will come to that other one you mentioned, so that we don't waste time. Let me share the link. I'll just share the link on the chat, the journal home. There's a link I put on the chat. So this is link to our journal. Okay. So this is linked to the journal.
I did.
So that's it. So we click the link to show you the various aspects we have. Okay, for the other one you mentioned, sorry about that, I think that should be either the Solomon or Romanus, but now we have more hands. And any question you can just write journal@dale.org or editor@dale.org. We have to even engage editor assistants that are able to respond to insurance journal. Okay, and also if you are part of the ASMN Premier, I mentioned there are various clusters. The clusters in the cluster they have cluster lead and a co-lead to also help so the work does not rest on one person. So among the cluster and the cluster lead, there's a cluster lead, there's a cluster co-lead. So these also provide directions on the journal outlets, and also how to collaborate, handling the APC, adding composition charges, and also avenues to collaborate with one another. Okay, and that is we'll do more with that on those who are our speaker members. So you can check it out again and we'll respond to that. Well, thanks so much for that comment. I appreciate you. Okay, do you have a more question? We are approaching the end of today's event. We've done so well, but with time, and also, if you have a question, please read up or raise your hand. I'll acknowledge you. We have covered part one, part two. We are now here, and then looking ahead, I think Dr. Chu has covered that in her talk, so it's already covered. 4C, and also 4, you have covered that already. So we're now in this 4B and 4E. Okay, so anybody have any comments? Raise your hand and I will acknowledge you. I raise a question. So what's your take on that? This AI matter, that's I don't know what's your take on that? Because becoming big issue. Dr. Chinwe, you are our AI expert.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Prof.
Yes.
Yeah, the concern is valid. Everyone, even the AI itself, is afraid of what is coming. But one thing is certain: you don't allow the AI to control you. Like I think that should be Dr. Lovett mentioned. AI is not a driver; it's just an assistant. So you don't allow your assistant to direct you. He gives you an assistant, and then you examine what it has done. For instance, you give it a task, it does it for you. You have to take the lead as the expert in that area. I can assure you that no matter how you can craft prompting in any of the generative AI, they will definitely give you rubbish at the end of the day. Yes. And so what plays in here, or what you do, is you have to take ownership. Read through every document AI produces for you. When I mean read through thoroughly, don't submit anything AI gives to you at the face value. So that is my take on that. Thank you, sir.
Wow. So AI is not your contractor. Because when I saw that note, I honestly was afraid. A professor that was highly ranked, but I like to put that the university basis on ranking among the top 11 universities in the world. University of Hong Kong has that out of the 61 citations in their paper, more than 20 of them are fake citations. so I think thanks so much that we should what I can get from you is that we should read thoroughly what AI gives us. So don't leave it for AI. So this is to mention that this is just the CAS 2.0 we're having. So it's starting February here. So let's this is a link to read. And for ASMN 7.0 is holding May to June body. It's already open. We're also working together with our partner at Canada, University of Regina. Yeah, Dave, but your hand is, let me see, 2 hands raised. I will take them quick, so I should make it brief. Adekbo, your hand is, yeah. I think Ambassador Kamara. Okay. Go on, sir.
Prof, thank you so much. I just want to make my contribution on the AI issues. I believe that when you have a topic, instead of giving prompt, find but try as much as possible on each of the objectives to have your downloads right from Google Scholar, from Scopus, from that every database that you intend that the topic, the paper is related. Download all your papers and have all your papers in a folder. Then ask AI with all your prompts that it should make sure that the references and the summary are from that what you have downloaded. It's a bit safer rather than allowing AI to generate any references. Thank you. That's my submission.
Wow, thank you so much, sir. So that was with the driver. I think that's a good one. So you confine AI to what it can give you. Okay, thanks so much. Well noted. Download your documents and share AI to use. Okay. All right. Is there any other quick comments? We are on course. Otherwise, we'll move to. If there's any comment, please raise your hand. We can take one or two, and then as we begin to close. Okay, come on, another one or any hands?
Yeah. Sorry, Prof. My division is a newly established at the Ministry of Finance. So I'm thinking in future, if I need assistance, members to support my division in terms of training, in terms of using data analysis. We don't have funds. We just want to see how best we can get training from different institutions, if that's possible.
Yeah, what is possible? One, and then two, we tell us on time we can plan logistics. We do training a number of times. If you go to our website, we better to do training here and there. We'll look at logistics. If you can do physical training, why not? Otherwise, you can do virtual. So also have regional coordinators. For West Africa, we have Dr. Karakara. For East Africa, we have Nima is in the house. Nima Kumburu is the East Africa coordinator based at Mosh University in Tanzania. Nima is Nima in the house as well, Elia?
Yes.
Nima, are you here?
I'm here, Prof. I'm here, Prof. I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. Thanks so much. Somebody from Kenya is asking for training. So, Kamara, is it training for your in Kenya Institute or in the one in Sierra Leone? I know you are.
No. It's in Sierra Leone. I'm based in Sierra Leone. I work for the Ministry of Finance.
Oh, great.
So it's like, yeah.
Okay, great. We also have even team members or program members in Sierra Leone. I have somebody in the Central Bank of Sierra Leone, another person in the Catholic University in Sierra Leone. So,
but I've been with the institution. Why I was not identified as a coordinator or someone to be liaising in Sierra Leone.
Okay, please okay. So we can take that up. So we can discuss that. Just let's know the focus and we can plan it out. Also the timing. So we can also feature it in our timing for the year. That would be great. Our one is to empower African scholars. That's our aim, and to increase the African voice in research ecosystem. All right, so we can take it up on that. Thank you so much. Okay, any other comment? We are good on time. I don't want to give us this Utah season. I don't want to give us too long for. Yeah, Chinwe, yes, yeah. Thanks so much, Chinwe. Thanks so much, Chinwe. Yeah, so Chinwe as well to you. Great. Okay. Any other question? I was actually even ask that was again, for example, join this CARD 2.0 that's coming next year, so that they can also learn, and then after that one, we cannot do a bespoke for them. Having go through the initial one, cannot do a training for them. And it's also this one is for CARD 2.0 starting February. And also accredited to signing for this ASMN 7.0. This one's for free. So you can also learn. So when we are training, it becomes much more bespoke. We already have a foundation. So you can also ask them to register for CARD 2.0 as much as possible, as well as ASMN 7.0. The details are on their website. When you go to our event, you saw the details. That's another way to go about it. But we can also plan a event for you training. We do that a lot. That's what we do. We are registered the training center. Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, any other? We're in Q&A now. Any other comments? Find out when. Otherwise, I would look at closing. Towards the end, I mentioned that these are the two main events, and two has mentioned best workshop and that. And for next, we'll open up for the first half of the year, we'll open for batch 5 as premier. Watch it out. If we go to our network, our website, Join the Network. And also to have recently created our WhatsApp channel and Telegram channels. So once you go to WhatsApp, you search Dadek or ASMN, you see that. Say for Telegram, Dadek, ASMN. These are able to have where we can be sharing quick updates, and also have our own bespoke YouTube channel, Mentor Scholar Mentorship Network, offer. So this was also for camera, so you can check this YouTube. We have short videos on covering different areas like use of AI for grants, how to create a compelling CV, around mentorship, around publication. All those shows are there. You can also check it out there. And also, many of our major events we stream them online, like this one is streamed online. So you can also check them online. So on that note, I want to say thank you so much, everyone, for your time. It's been a very wonderful time having you. Having these two major events together, the ASMN Community Converge, the first of its kind, and also the book launch, the first of its kind. It's really a great one. So I will stop sharing now as we take final Q&A, and we're going to move to the end of the meeting. I promise 2 hours, and I think that, yeah, thank you so much. But okay, yeah, but okay, any favor you from Cameroon or Central Africa as we close?
Yes, Prof. Just an appreciation to everyone. To Prof. To Dr. Romanos for the insightful presentation. To Dr. Peace and the Prof from Canada. I really want to appreciate your effort, Prof, for this opportunity that you are giving to all of us. We keep learning on a daily basis, and we thank God for the end of 2025. We pray that you continue to take us through 2026 with our plans as we trust God. Thank you very much. Thank
you so much. Yeah, by God's going to make this event annual, so till the end of the year, we'll take a look. And also for book launch, all of our team members, Dr. Karakra is working a book almost ready on the blue economy. So also cannot do another book launch on it next year like this. Dr. Kava Victoria, you are here, they mostly. Anything from us? Dr. Kava Victoria, I didn't know you would be here. We are ending any quick comments, otherwise we end now. Victoria? Dr. Miriam,
No quick. I'm here.
chat.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah.
Good
How are
evening,
you?
everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you for the privilege. No, I've just been taking in a lot of things, so no quick comments.
Taking in. Okay. All right, Elizabeth, Kennedy, any other one over closer? Abigail, over the closer, Korean. Yeah, are they, the money therapist? Any money for us? We're about to close. Final. Nora, thanks so much for joining. Yeah. Okay, I think let's
Thank you, Prof. Good evening.
Yeah, go ahead now. Go on, ma. Okay, are you done?
Good evening, Prof. Thank you. Thank you to the team. Though I joined late, but
okay. Yeah, it's on YouTube. So let's rewatch it on YouTube, please.
Okay, thank you. I will.
Yeah. Okay, thanks so much. All right, everyone, I want to say we wish you Merry Christmas and Happy New Year in advance. To God's glory, year 2025 has been very awesome. I will thank God for that. And thank every one of you for what you do, for my direct team members, Charity, Abigail, Solomon, many of the Aminat, Love Vets. I think all of these people put, when you say Evans, it's not me, there are many people working behind the scenes, Dr. Romanus, Patience, all of you, most appreciate you. Thanks so much. Indeed, a tree cannot make a forest. And also our team members and also premium members, and you are also there by participating in our event. Otherwise, there's no point coming to cook soup that nobody will eat. We appreciate you so much for everyone. We trust God that the year coming 2026 will be far, far better than 2025 in all ramifications. We wish all of you Merry Christmas and Happy in advance, in good health, sound mind, more publications, more awards, more grants, more workshops, more partnership, more collaboration. And one thing I've come out here is that let's not stay in our own corner, let's collaborate. Many things have come out from the book launch, energy efficiency, or energy sufficiency, or energy poverty. These are things we should take up, energy and AI. These are things we should take up next. Let's not end it here. Let's walk the talk as we talk the walk and then move on. Once again, we love you, appreciate you, thank you so much, and God bless you and keep us hale and healthy for next year for better outcome. Together we can make Africa great. Once again, thanks so much. Again, like I said, the link is on YouTube. Let's watch it again to relieve expense. Well, God bless you. Bye for now. We love you, appreciate you. Once again, happy Easter season, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year in advance. So sir, you've been so quiet today. See ya, bonga.